Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and this is my favorite thing that happened today. Not just in the world of crypto, but this is my favorite thing that I came across today. Just period. Ripple chief strikes back after Mike Novogratz predicts XRP will, quote, underperform immensely in 2020. And so what's this stemming from? Well, I'm going to share with you. There was an article put out by Cointelegraph on this topic, which I will be running through, and that one was titled Galaxy's Novogratz. XRP will underperform immensely again this year. And Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse read this and responded. And he wasn't too thrilled with the nonsense that's included within this. But before we go any further here, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Brad Garlinghouse putting the smack down and setting the facts straight, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. Why? Because this is an XRP-centric channel, damn it, and that's what you want. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here's the tweet. I'm just going to start with this, because this is the fun part, all right? The most fun part, anyway. From Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse, look at this tweet, and I'll read the CoinDesk tweet first. Which reads as follows. XRP will have another lackluster year in 2020, Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz recently told a room full of financial advisors, and that's what links to this piece from CoinDesk that I just cited a moment ago. And so Brad Garlinghouse takes issue with a couple things. There are actually two tweets from Brad Garlinghouse on this. Takes issue with the comment from Mike Novogratz, and then the fact that CoinDesk didn't seem to fact-check this. So here's what Brad Garlinghouse tweeted out earlier today. Is this thing on? Can I get a fact-check on aisle CoinDesk? Oh, I love that so much. I gotta admit, I was laughing pretty hard when I read that. I was like, wait a minute. I had to check. I was like, is this the real Brad Garlinghouse account? I was like, okay, yeah, there, it's got the little verified check. It's got 240,000 followers. I was like, it just made me laugh. I just want to make sure it's the right one. And then he wrote in the same tweet, XRP has outperformed Bitcoin and the broader crypto market in 2020. XRP is up 44%. And then he cites that going from 19.1 cents to 27.5 cents, 27.5 cents, versus Bitcoin up 33% from $7,100 to $9,500 so far this year. And then there was another tweet. And let me read that one. Actually, let me read that second tweet just after I cover a little bit of the article, because I think if you have some context for it, it'll probably make a little bit more sense. I hope I remember to go back to it. I don't think I'll forget. It's kind of a cool thing and the thrust of what I wanted to talk about because it made me laugh. So here we go. Let's dig into this piece first. XRP, and this is from CoinDesk. XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap, will have another lackluster year in 2020, Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz told a room full of financial advisors. What's more, he blamed Ripple, one of his firm's largest investments, for what he sees as XRP's underwhelming prospects. And I gotta admit, I was kind of surprised because I was aware of this. I was surprised to hear this from Mike Novogratz, even though I can't remember if I've talked about it much on this channel. If so, it would have been a long time. But Mike Novogratz, I enjoy hearing what the guy has to say, but he almost never has anything to say about XRP, at least not proactively. It's like you really got to ask him, and then maybe he'll have some sort of response on whatever you ask him about pertaining to the XRP ecosystem, whatever it may be. But you don't hear much from him, so I was kind of surprised that this all popped out today. That's the fund manager whose firm trades and invests in digital assets and startups chatted on stage with personal finance superstar Rick Edelman at TD Ameritrade's National Link 2020 conference in Orlando, Florida last week. And check this out. At the end of the discussion, Novogratz fielded questions from the audience of registered investment advisors, RIAs. The very last one was about his opinion on XRP, the native cryptocurrency of Ripple's ecosystem. No, there's nothing native about it. XRP is just a decentralized cryptocurrency. There's nothing native about it whatsoever. I mean, XRP is native to the XRP ledger. You could say that, but that's not what you said. You said it's native to XRP, Ripple's ecosystem, which is not true because Ripple's ecosystem would be RippleNet, which does not have a native cryptocurrency. CoinDesk. Although recording the event was forbidden CoinDesk obtained a recording from an attendee. Ripple, the company, owns 60 billion of the coins of the XRP, Novogratz began. That's a lot of it. The total amount of XRP in circulation is 100 billion tokens. While Ripple was gifted 80 billion, its holdings are down to 56 billion, of which 48.9 billion are in escrow, and the company cannot touch, according to Brianne Madigan, Ripple's vice president of global institutional markets. Nevertheless, Novogratz likened XRP to a situation where a company continuously sells its shares. And here's a quote from him now. When I'm buying a stock, if I know someone's selling $10 billion worth of it at some price, it makes me less excited to buy the stock, he said. Now, let me jump back to the second tweet now from Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO. He wrote this, and he's referencing Mike Novogratz in this first part here. Well, actually, the whole thing. Also, this is the same guy that said Bitcoin will go to $20,000 in 2019. Hashtag not Nostradamus. So I'm not very good at telling the future. And I love this little thing, too. I've seen people use this. I wonder, how do you get these little characters that make up the squiggly arms? Is it 2 characters? Yeah. Oh, it's 3 characters. Oh, okay. Never mind. I can see how they did that now. But I love it. It's like the shrugging of shoulders. Like, I don't get it. So Brad Garlinghouse used that in a tweet. I love that. I'll tell you what, that did the opposite of grinding my gears. And then he also wrote this. He did not predict Tom Hanks would win an Oscar for Mr. Rogers. Maybe this is the prediction he'll get right. Personally voting for Brad Pitt, though. These are my 2 favorite tweets from Brad Garlinghouse ever, I think. This is a fantastic day. I'm good with this. I'm totally good with this. So let's go back to the CoinDesk piece now, because Ripple did respond to this. Not just Brad Garlinghouse there, but there was a response with additional important material facts that you're going to want to know. And it goes as follows. What makes this remark so biting is that Ripple is Galaxy Digital's largest single holding in another company. Novogratz's firm has put in $23.8 million into Ripple and valued the stake at $27.6 million as of September 30th, 2019, according to the public filings. The analogy of XRP to shares is a particularly sensitive issue for Ripple. Over the past couple of years, Ripple's been fighting a class action lawsuit claiming XRP is an unregistered security. The case remains ongoing at the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California. And we all know that's going to be a big nothing, but still they threw it in here. Whatever, fair enough, I don't care. XRP is a digital asset, Madigan fired back in an email to CoinDesk. It is not a stock, as it does not give you any stake in Ripple or any other company. Second, XRP has legitimate utility for payments. Companies like MoneyGram, Bitso, and others are using XRP in production through RippleNet's on-demand liquidity, ODL. And then it goes on to state, the company also dramatically reduced its programmatic quarterly token sales this past year, dropping from $251 million worth in Q2 down to none in Q4. I'd say that's a notable drop. That would be, I'm no math wizard, but I think that's similar to or exactly the same as a 100% drop. These statements make clear that Mike doesn't understand how Ripple manages its stake in XRP and didn't take time to read what we make publicly available every quarter, said Madigan. The increase of circulating supply from Ripple distributions of XRP, and check this out, is actually lower than the increase in circulating supply of Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, etc. And I've cited this fact before, but if you are unaware, please take note of this. The quantity of XRP being introduced by Ripple, into the ecosystem. I know XRP, to be clear, it's already been issued because Ripple can't be an issuer because they didn't create XRP, but the amount it being introduced by Ripple from their holdings is less than what is generated from Bitcoin through mining. Same for Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum. That's extremely important to take note. And so this whole idea that Novogratz has, if I knew that there's going to be a whole bunch of XRP, or stock being sold at $10 billion worth, I don't know if I'd want to buy it. Okay, well then why are you buying Bitcoin? Because there's a whole bunch more of that being introduced in terms of percents, versus XRP, percentage gains versus the total out that is out in the wild there. Same for dollars too, actually. Dollars and percent. And so, and indeed, it's also true that Mike Novogratz did make a prediction, and I've cited this on my channel when he said it. It might have been summer of last year. I don't know, maybe it was April or May. I can't remember for sure. But he did predict that Bitcoin would be hitting $20,000 back to its all-time high by roughly mid-December to maybe end of December 2019. So little baby boo bit off there, and I still like the guy, but it's the fireworks here are just fun to watch. It's like, get your Redenbacher going, pop your popcorn, just sit back and enjoy. This is good times here. Now, when asked by CoinDesk to elaborate on his comments, Novogratz, through a spokesperson, added, "On the buying side of that, you do have a strong following of XRP in Asia and an XRP army which pushes it hard." So apparently that's you and me. We're the XRP army here. There you go. In 2019, XRP lost 46.3% of its value, according to data compiled by CoinDesk at the Orlando conference. Novogratz suggested that the trend may continue. And here's another quote. "It did underperform immensely last year," he told the audience. "I think it will underperform immensely again this year, and it's just because of the supply." And that's just factually inaccurate. It's astonishing to me because he's a well-informed guy in general, I suspect, as it pertains to crypto, but clearly not here. Yet he has this firm opinion. And again, I like the guy, but he's just, he could not be more wrong. Because if you look at, like I just cited, in terms of what's being introduced into the ecosystem from Ripple versus Bitcoin introduced into the Bitcoin ecosystem, no. It's clearly a non-issue here. And you could talk about XRP underperforming in terms of price. Okay, fine. Best year for adoption ever in actual value, but fine, if we're going to talk about price, it was down along with every other altcoin, on the planet. Not surprising here. And so if you think XRP is going to be down, then you better think that the whole altcoin market is going to stay down. And I'm not convinced that's true after what's been happening price-wise over the last couple of days here. But through a spokesperson, Novogratz disputed having said immensely, but it is clearly audible on the tape. So CoinDesk says, no, you actually did say that right there. And then they go on to talk about, okay, which is more decentralized, and I don't think I want to get too much into the weeds any further, but obviously the XRP ledger is less centralized than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is more centralized than XRP ledger. Especially with all the mining, the centralized mining, same for Ethereum as well. But anyway. Now take a look at this, and this is the last thing I'm going to cite in this video. There's a tweet from Isa Rosales Mendez, if I'm saying that correct, who tagged me along with fellow XRP YouTuber Kevin Cage and wrote, "Please translate." So I saw that and I thought, okay, what is this individual speaking of here? And it was a retweet from somebody named Rebecca who wrote, "XRP is not used to transact. A currency not used for transactions has a core value of 0. Please sell it. Buy real currencies such as Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and Monero." Okay, so again, Isa Rosales Mendez wrote, "Please translate." So I was happy to do so. I responded with 2 tweets, and I just thought I'd share them with you, and then I'll wrap up the video. And I responded with my genuine take on this, which is, "The tweet is gibberish. There is real value with XRP based on real-world utility. There is an open market XRP price as it's traded on exchanges by speculators. Value and price are 2 different things. The idea that a digital asset needs to be used in place of fiat currency to have a price is proven wrong by the fact that cryptocurrencies have market prices today, yet realistically, almost 0% of humans use any of them to buy stuff instead of using a fiat currency." And so there you go. But that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because if anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!